Title. Wife said. He understands me better than you. Days later he was fired because of her. When my wife, Emma, first mentioned the name Liam, I barely paid attention. She said he was a yoga instructor at her new studio. A calm soul who helps her find balance. I smiled, pretending not to notice how often his name slipped into casual conversations. I was happy she'd found something that made her feel peaceful. She'd been stressed for months. But peace has a strange way of hiding storms underneath. It started small. Emma began dressing differently before her classes. More makeup, perfume she never wore around me. It's part of the vibe, she'd laugh when I teased her. Then came the late sessions. He offered to help me improve my form, she'd say, avoiding my eyes as she packed her mat. The excuses were fragile, but I wanted to trust her. After all, trust was what we'd built our marriage on. One evening, I arrived home early. Her car wasn't in the driveway, but her class should have ended an hour ago. I called her, no answer. 10 minutes later, she walked in, flushed and smiling, hair still damp from sweat. "You're home early," she said, surprised. I asked how her class was, and without hesitation she replied, "Liam says I'm finally letting go. He understands me better than you ever did." Those words landed like a blade between my ribs. I stood there, silent, because anger wasn't what I felt, it was disbelief. My wife, the woman who used to cling to me during every storm, was now comparing my love to a stranger's calm voice. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I just said, "If he understands you so well, I hope he teaches you how to live with consequences." That night, she slept on the couch. I stared at the ceiling, wondering when we stopped being on the same team. In the days that followed, she acted distant, like she was daring me to react. Every word felt rehearsed, every smile forced. And when she told me she was helping Liam promote his studio, because he deserved more recognition, something inside me began to break. I didn't know it yet, but karma was already weaving its web. And soon, the man who understood her would lose everything because of her. A week later, I walked into a small cafe near my office and saw them, Emma and Liam, sitting in the corner, laughing like there was no world outside their little bubble. She touched his arm as she talked, eyes bright, face soft in a way I hadn't seen in months. My stomach tightened. I didn't make a scene, I just watched. It was the kind of quiet betrayal that doesn't explode. It seeps in, slowly poisoning everything. When she came home that evening, she was unusually quiet. Maybe she sensed that I knew. I didn't mention the cafe. I wanted to see how far she'd go with her lies. That night over dinner she said, "Liam's going through a tough time. His ex took everything from him. He's not like other men, he actually listens." Her words were soaked in pity, the kind of pity that often turns into infatuation. I smiled faintly and replied, "Be careful, Emma. People who need saving often end up drowning the ones who try to rescue them." She rolled her eyes. "You just don't get it, do you? He's genuine. He understands me." Her phone buzzed. A message lit up the screen. "Can't stop thinking about you during class today." She tilted the phone slightly, pretending to hide it, but it was too late. I saw. The air between us froze. The next morning, she left early for work. I decided to follow. She drove straight to the yoga studio, but instead of going in, she parked behind it and waited. Liam's car pulled up minutes later. They sat there together, windows up, hands moving, faces too close. I felt something twist deep inside me. Not jealousy, but pity. For her. For the person she'd become. 2 days later, I went to see Liam. I walked into his studio during a session, and waited until everyone had left. When he finally approached, his confident smile faltered. I looked him straight in the eye and said quietly, "Be very careful about the lines you're crossing. My wife has a habit of burning down the people she uses." He tried to laugh it off. "You're insecure, man. She deserves better energy than yours." "Maybe," I said. "But when she's done with you, you'll understand exactly what that energy costs." I walked out, feeling strangely calm, unaware that my words were about to come true in ways even I couldn't predict. It happened faster than I expected. 3 days later, Emma came home pale and trembling. Her usual confidence cracked. She dropped her bag on the floor and sat down without a word. I asked what was wrong, But she just stared at the wall for a long time before whispering, "He got fired, Liam." I stayed silent, letting her fill the space between us. "Someone reported him for inappropriate behavior with a client," she continued, her voice breaking. "They said he crossed professional boundaries, that he was getting too personal with one of his students." She didn't say it, but we both knew who that student was. Apparently, one of the other instructors had seen them together outside the studio. The long lunches, the touches, the stolen glances. The owner received screenshots of their texts, too. Messages far more explicit than Emma ever imagined could surface. Liam had tried to deny it, but the studio couldn't take the risk. He was out. She looked at me, eyes red, voice trembling. "He says someone must have set him up. That people were jealous." I sighed, my tone even. "Maybe. Or maybe he forgot that actions have consequences." That night, I heard her crying in the shower. And for the first time, I didn't feel the urge to comfort her. I'd spent months chasing her affection, begging for the version of her that once loved me. But now, sitting alone in that quiet living room, I realized something. Her betrayal had freed me. In the days that followed, she tried to make small talk, cook my favorite meals, even suggest we start over. But her words fell flat. She was chasing guilt, not love. The woman who once claimed to crave emotional connection now found herself surrounded by silence. A silence she'd built, brick by brick. One evening, as she stood by the window, she said softly, "I just wanted to be understood." I looked at her, really looked, and replied, "You wanted to be worshipped, Emma. There's a difference." Her eyes widened, then lowered. No yelling, no drama. Just quiet understanding that the damage was permanent. A month later, I moved out. No fights, no revenge. Just peace. Sometimes I hear she still visits the studio, though Liam's long gone. Maybe she hopes someone else will understand her again. But the truth is, people like her don't want to be understood. They just want to be adored until the attention runs out. And when it does, they look for someone new to blame.